The surprising to me, and I think to many, news that the Colts had decided to go with Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback. Not for week one, not the guy that wins the right to be the first guy benched. According to Shane Steichen, head coach of the Colts, this is a full season move. The 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft in his 3rd NFL season is not starting. That in itself is a strong statement by the organization that made that pick. Instead, the guy that got thrown out the door last year by the Giants, who kind of floated around the NFL. Well, he was with the Vikings, but he was on practice squad, and there were other teams maybe trying to sign him to the bottom of the roster, but he wasn't going to really play last year, although there was a rumor that the Vikings were thinking about putting him in for Sam Darnold if the playoff thing had progressed and Darnold hadn't snapped out of his Week 18 funk. But this is a guy that was largely regarded as a failure, even though he got his second contract. He's now a success again. It really is surprising that the Colts are willing, essentially, to admit they screwed up with that 4th pick in 2023. That's the big takeaway for me. I thought they'd find one last way to give Anthony Richardson a chance to show that he's really gotten to the point where they need him to be.
Well, I hear you. I hear you. That's easy, though, when your ass ain't on the line. That's, I think, the bottom line there. I mean, I think that's really what it is when it comes down to it. Hey, first off, Anthony Richardson's 23 years old, right? He's younger than a lot of the rookie quarterbacks, the second-year quarterbacks that are in the NFL right now. He's younger than them. He's got a lot of years and play in front of him. So he just got to keep fighting the good fight when it comes to that. Hey, Daniel Jones is the starter for the whole season, and says Shane Steichen, until he's not, right? So stay ready to go, Anthony Richardson. I mean, again, Mike Florio just explained, Daniel Jones, it's been a little all over the place for his career. I would blame more the Giants than I would Daniel Jones. I think you know that. But, hey, I mean, am I sit here and just sold that it's going to work and that Daniel Jones is going to take over the league and the AFC South and all that? No, absolutely not. So Anthony Richardson better be ready, right? But I will say, I do think the league thinks higher of Daniel Jones than maybe the public does, right? I think the league, the coaches, whatever else, they've watched enough film, known the Giants over the last few years to go, that wasn't exactly the best support system for that guy. And then I go back to what I just started, talking to you about earlier, is that, yes, it's a huge year. It's a huge year. Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, by all due accounts, are going to be fired. They can't go into, hey, we drafted him number 4 pick. We think this is the year he's going to grow into be a good player. We hope all that. And then you sit there and you think and you hope and you're 1-3, and now you're fighting this uphill battle to save your job and maybe get in the playoffs and do that. So they're going the other way around. They're going with the guy that they know has played, has been consistent. That's the word you heard Shane Steichen use yesterday. Consistent, day in, day out. Anthony Richardson's looked better, but you still can't say it's consistent all the way, just from what we saw in preseason game number 1 with messing up the blitz and all that too. So they don't have time for that, it's better and there's potential. Because that's good, but they could still be sitting there 0-3, and we're in deep trouble. So I do get it, and I expected them to go with Daniel Jones, as you know. I thought this would be the move they'd make.
And in my mind, it had to be not close, because if it's close, you're going to be more inclined to justify the decision you made a couple of years ago to pick Anthony Richardson if it's close. The tie is going to go, or something close to a tie is going to go to the guy in whom you've invested
I would
capital.
think so, yes.
So it had to be, in my mind, not even something that was debatable for the people who were making the decision and maybe for the locker room. Here's the guy who ostensibly made the decision, although we know it's typically more complicated than that. Coach Shane Steichen of the Indianapolis Colts on the decision to go with Jones over Richardson.
You guys heard me talk about the consistency, and that's really what I was looking for, and really the operation at the line of scrimmage, the checks, the protection, the ball placement, the completion percentage. I think all that played a factor in it. I think Daniel did a great job doing that, and I think AR has made strides in that area, but I do feel that, he still needs to continue to develop. Look, he's our starting quarterback for the season. I don't want to have a quick leash on that. I feel confident in his abilities. I mean, I think it was close. I think Daniel was ahead of him there. Like I said, I think there's still room for, AR to grow. I mean, he's 23 years old. He's still learning, still growing. And for the first time in his career, this is an opportunity for him to sit at the start of the season and learn in a different light, and attack it the right way. Well, I think this league is a year-to-year league, and what do I feel is best for the Indianapolis Colts in 2025? And I got to make these decisions. That's what I get paid to do, and I got to go with what I feel is right.
I'm not buying this sit and learn nonsense. It's his third year. He's only going to get better if he plays. He's only going to reach his ceiling with experience. He had 13 starts in college and 15 so far in the NFL in 2 seasons. He needs to play. There's nothing to learn at this point. You learn as a rookie. You don't learn as a third-year player. These aren't 5-year projects, and then you put the guy in. You got him under contract for 1 more year after this one. You got to decide what you're going to do about the 5th-year option next May. You need to play him to get him to learn. You're sitting him because he's not good enough. This isn't a favor to him. And look, the Colts can make whatever decision they want. I'm just saying you don't have to sprinkle in, a little topping of bullshit on top of it. Just be straight with everyone about this. He's not good enough. We've given him 2 years, and he's not good enough. This is big boy football. And the best guys are going to play because jobs are on the line. And Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson. That's why Daniel Jones is playing. We're trying to win football games here.
That's right. Well,
and we've given this guy 2 years. We've given him 2 years. And it's not like it was in the 70s. We've given him 2 years to figure it out. And I still think, Chris, there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about as it relates to, is he really doing everything they need him to do to become a guy who reaches his full potential in the NFL? I think there's a level of exasperation with him that is manifested by this decision.
Well, I don't disagree with that, And again, if you're Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, right, they want the guy that's the robot, the machine, goes in there every day. Everybody feels good about what he's doing, the approach. He's on top of all things like that. From all due accounts, again, Anthony Richardson has told us he's still learning and inexperienced. I mean, like we talked about, tapping out of the ball game. Right? Some of the stuff that you're talking about behind the scenes, maybe not doing the little things, being on time all the time, all of that. That stuff doesn't really happen with, your franchise quarterback. So it's rare to hear. It's rare to hear. You go through the greats of all time, you don't really hear stuff like that. Right? Oh, we stopped eating Skittles and I got a little bit more on my diet this year to become a better player. So I do think he's still young and learning things like that. And yeah, Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard don't got time right now. And I'm sure there was days where Anthony Richardson probably looked better and maybe had a better day than Daniel Jones from time to time. But it's the consistency that he goes back to. I mean, Daniel Jones can operate the offense. They have some underrated weapons to throw the football to. Their offensive line and their run game is pretty good. Shane Steichen, to me, is still one of the best game planners out there. And Daniel Jones, because of his experience and his smarts, I think is going to be able to take advantage of the full Shane Steichen experience as far as the playbook. Where maybe with Anthony Richardson, again, we're young, we're learning, we're getting better, we're not picking up blitzes, and we're still getting blindsided and almost getting hurt and stuff like that at times. We're getting better, right? But I can't give them every check and everything that I want in my offense so we can be at our total best too because of Anthony Richardson. And I think that's where Daniel Jones separates himself. And that's why I'm not surprised. Daniel Jones' experience, he's better than people realize. He's got more physical talent than people realizes. He's practiced and played a lot. And those give you advantages in training camp to go out there every day and run the offense the right way instead of maybe being spotty like Anthony Richardson. And again, you see the improvement, but it's not Daniel Jones, and I get that. And then, hopefully just Anthony Richardson stays ready, Mike. That's all he can do.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.